What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone. And we have a midfield target, a real one, according to Fabrizio Romano. It's not easy. That I need to add immediately. But it's Hjulmand from Sporting, who played for Lecce in the league. And we could get him. We could have gotten on the cheap. And remember, we were linked with him at the times. But now it's going to cost us a lot of money. But he's the only midfield target, according to Romano, that the club is looking into very seriously. With talks with Roberto Costa still ongoing. The club wants to, see if it's possible to bring him in. Now, I'm going to be a hypocrite, not going to lie, because I said, man, we don't really need him because we have Locatelli. But with new links coming out suggesting that Nico Gonzales is leaving, McKennie could potentially leave because of the contract situation, and Douglas Luiz is out, I need to rethink that. Even though I want center backs, I don't think the club is looking at center backs being the priority. And we can say that's absolutely ridiculous, and it is ridiculous. If you're going to bring in a midfielder, you better spend that money right. And I think spending it on Hjulmand is the right decision. So I'm going to talk about why I think the club is looking at him, especially with Tudor, and why he could be a potential good addition. But before we get into it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, as always, and let's talk about it. Okay, so we all watched him. Obviously not, I don't think you watch a lot of Lecce, but that's fair. Who is he as a player? I didn't watch a lot of Sporting, but I'm assuming he improved. And going off the reports, he did improve as well, which was not a given, but like I think everybody was expecting that. Defensively, he's very good. He can win the ball back. I think that's what Tudor wants. High intensity, winning the ball back. That's why we got linked to Andre as well. I think I think if you press him, he's not that good, but he can make those, I don't know, like forward passes, whatever you want, progressive passes, whatever you want to call it. I think he's decent at that as well. I mean, if people like it, he works hard. And for a 6 or for that position, yeah, you need to work hard, obviously. Like, I don't want to talk about that for a flair player. He works hard. But in those positions, he needs to work hard. And if we miss leaders, which we do, I think he will add that leadership into the team, in my opinion. Now, it will be much easier if we play with a 3 midfield. And like, you know what? He's going to be the 6. He's going to be whatever you want to call it, the pivot. He's going to sit and he's going to let Thuramli run, and maybe Locatelli but we don't play with a 3. We play with a 2, which means, well, probably Locatelli will get benched, but we play 50 games. And that's the point, maybe Tudor is thinking about, okay, I need to have different options. Maybe there are times I'm going to need to play with a 3, or maybe I will play with a 3. Maybe that's the idea. When we are selling Costa and maybe it's like, okay, I will switch it up to a 4-3-2-1. I don't know. That could be all scenarios Tudor is thinking about, and we have no clue. Doesn't really make sense when you have a player like Cambiasso on the team, but still, I don't know. We don't really know as well, So he will be ideal if you play with a 3-man midfield, and he was going to sit. But what I think Tudor likes about him, and I think is needed if you want Tudor to succeed, is that he can be aggressive. He has that high motor. He can press. I think he can win the ball back really well. Like his tackling is well timed. Like he sees things. He sniffs out danger quite good, in my opinion. Also, he will be better than Locatelli. If you ask Locatelli to do that, or him, he will be much, much better doing that. It's not a dig to Locatelli, because I still think Locatelli is better a bit higher up the pitch, but it's just more natural for him. So maybe that's also something that Tudor wants to see. Like I said, if you put him under pressure, it's a bit iffy, So that means, as a team, if you're under pressure, everybody's going to need to chip in. But he's good with the feet, He can switch play quite easily, which is very important, especially if you play with a player like Gonzales and you have some space. It's key that we can switch the field, we can get the ball quickly to Gonzales. I think that's important. Thuram has glimpses of it, and Locatelli is hot and cold with it. So, I mean, yeah, that will be an added thing, in my opinion. And like I said, on the pressure, it's not... I wrote a few things down. On the pressure, it's not good, but he works hard. He's not scared to get physical. And that, for Tudor, is needed. Like, it's a must, having a big engine, be physical, also be decent on the ball as well. But, you know, because we want to press and we want to press a lot, which could be suicide, you know, considering our back line. But if you want to do that and you want to consistently do that for weeks, months, 90 minutes, you're going to need to have the right players to do that. You cannot have players who collapse after, I don't know, 45 minutes and it's done, because at that point, okay, you're in trouble. You know, you're absolutely in trouble if you keep doing that over and over and over again. But if you have him, it allows other players to do a different job higher up the pitch. If you want to press, obviously, and I think that, you know, we want to press. You know, I think Locatelli is more of a, he had a Gisa, but he's not really a DM. He's not like Hjulmand. Like he's, I don't know, because that's his position, Hjulmand. So if he plays, he's gonna have that position. He's gonna keep that position. He's gonna keep that focus, and he's gonna do the job every single time. Well, Locatelli, he will probably fall out of character from time to time because that's not really his role, in my opinion. You know, he's just more natural in that position. Defensively better, his positioning is better than Locatelli, but it's all normal. Like, it's okay because Locatelli is not that type of player. And it will free up Locatelli, in my opinion. More. It will give him more. I think we will see more things from Locatelli that we didn't see for a lot of times. I was looking up the price tag that Sporting paid, but I forgot. It wasn't a lot that Sporting paid around. It was under the 20. They want a lot of money. They want 45, 50 million. We obviously not going to pay that, but we're in talks for Alberto Costa. So maybe something, you know, can be done with that situation. Who knows? But if you want a 6, if you want that position and you want a natural player doing that, then he is the answer, obviously. There are other options out there, but he is the answer if you want to do that. If you don't want to do that, then obviously you don't need to buy him, because then it's completely pointless and you're doing stuff that, well, they don't make sense. They absolutely do not make sense, you know, and you're just doing things for the sake of doing things. And then I would agree, it wouldn't make sense. But he wins the ball back, he can play it, he can switch it, he can play that pass. He's actually very good with his feet under pressure, a bit iffy, high intensity. He can keep it up for 90 minutes. That's also important to know as well. And it free up a lot of players to do their thing when it comes to pressing. And I think it will shield his idea, Tudor's idea of playing a bit more than it's doing right now, because he's more suited to cope with it than a Locatelli in that position. Now, we play 50 games. If he comes in, for example, and he's much better than Locatelli, and Locatelli plays less games, it is what it is. I want to win. If that's with Hjulmand starting, or Locatelli starting, or even McKennie, and I'm wrong, and McKennie becomes an absolute baller, fine, I want to win. I don't care. That means for Gonzales as well. If Gonzales comes in, I'm not his biggest fan, and he becomes extremely consistent and start chipping in consistently with performances and goals, I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong, because that means we're doing well as a club and we're improving, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. We all have an opinion. An opinion can be good, it can be bad. I hope I'm wrong when it comes to having a bad opinion. I'm like, oh my God, he proved me wrong, fine. And when I have a positive opinion, I hope it turns out to be positive as well. So that means we all win, you know. But let's see. In the comments, let me know, would it be smart to invest that money? And you always say no, center backs. But right now, I have a feeling the club is not really looking at it. They're looking at maybe the wing backs, or whatever you want to call it, in Tudor's formation, depending on how he's going to play. But center back wise, they're banking a lot of hopes on Bremer, in my opinion, because the links are dying. So in the comments, let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you guys soon. As always, ciao.